Oh, NBA STRAYA, how are you? And how you going? This is NBA STRAYA. It is Monday, December 23. I'll tell you what, if there's one thing that I hope that you're not working. It's Monday, December 23. What are we doing? It's 2 days till Chrissy. Come on, get on the tins. Pack her up. We're Dunskies. I'm working, but that's just because I work hard to appease the people. Why not? That's right. I'm your host, James Clements. You can also see my ugly mug on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show. You can see him on the AFL Today show, the NFL Australia, all the good stuff here in Larry Armour Studios to wrap up a big weekend of NBA gear. Tell you what, it was a weird one. It was weird. So we'll talk about all that. We've got the fact that Orlando is cursed with another injury, which is just insane. Alex Caruso got paid. Wemby went off his head. Tatum had a triple-double. Embiid came back for a little bit. Chaos weekend. A lot of fun stuff. So we'll talk about that in the weekend winners and losers. We've also got the NBA STRAYA game wraps. We've got That's Not a Knife, All Made No Made, Spud of the Night, Better Than Lonzo Ball. Of course, there are some listener yeah-nahs, which is always very fun. We've got the Unpopular Opinion today in Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame grilled take. There's the Andrew Gay's Great Mum Reward for outstanding achievement in the field of excellence. The STRAYAN Player Watch. A couple of the Aussies got up to some fun stuff on the weekend. Box Hill Benny, Johnny Tins. It's all going on. But the cool part is we have 14 games tomorrow. 14! It's insane. So we'll talk about each of those at the end of this show. That'll be fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1181 of NBA STRAYA. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Miss Creek.
This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And 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 you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better watch out for the curse of the Orlando Magic if you're Mo Wagner. I don't know. Is it because of the Amway family and how just rubbish they appear to be? I don't know. Or you can watch out for the Shaq attack. He is giving away $30,000. Merry Christmas. I'm giving $30,000 to the hottest independent artist. Tap in. And then there's like a link to the YouTube. That's short. 64 artist music bracket, I want to guess. I don't really care, but good on him. There you go. So basically it's about judging independent artists in his 64 artist music tournament. Interesting. KO and Shaquille O'Neal. That's not the KO over here. That's just some dude named KO. They're spelled the same way. Chaos. Anyway, I did love that Shaq-a-Roni season did pop up on one of the NFL broadcasts and also one of the basketball podcasts today. I'm a big proponent of the Shaq-a-Roni season, so I'm excited by all mentions and incidences of Shaq-a-Roni season. Just saying. Right. Otherwise, let's get into it with the daily. I believe it's some sort of... Oh, yes, you start every show with the whip round, don't you, Jim? Yes, I do. Alex Caruso put on a bit of a Caruso show. He can afford to now as well. He's got a 4-year, $81 million contract extension. Not bad. Good business, I guess, for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Caruso almost feels like a luxury at this point, but he's also the sort of the exact dude that they need, like the veteran who's done a lot of different stuff. So keeping him around is very smart. Good job, Thunder. Now what they also need to do is go trade some of those draft picks and go get Cam Johnson. Yep, just saying. Go do it. Come on. Help those Nets out. All right, I already mentioned Mo Wagner as well. That sucks. He copped a season-ending ACL tear in his left knee, non-contact. It was brutal. He was having a very, very, very solid season, 13-5 off the bench. Was just like a really big part of the Magic, success story this year, right? To the point where no Franz Wagner, no Bada. Wendell Carter Jr. missed a bunch of time as well. And Johnny Isaac's always in and out of the thing. That's what he does. And Mo, who just stepped up with his big old stupid looking pumpkin head and did good. And now he's out. That sucks. ShamWow is back. That's right, Landry ShamWow Shabbat. He's back with the New York Knickerbockers. He had a shoulder injury. He's back. They had to waive Matt Ryan to the Knicks. But Landry Shamet on the Knickerbockers. Cool. We also had some fines. Joey Muzz, remember how he was just like mouthing off of the refs after the game the other day? Got fined $35,000. Oh, bro, that's a lot of fucking DVD copies of The Town, bro. Why the fuck are we... Oh, 35,000, man. That's fucking bullshit. I'm going to jujitsu fucking every one of you dickheads. This is fucked, mate. For aggressively pursuing and directing inappropriate language towards the officials last game. Yeah, sure. And Jordan Jeremy Clarkson got fined $35K for escalating an on-court altercation and throwing his headband into the stands following his ejection. Ron Holland has been fined $25,000 for escalating an on-court altercation. And Basketball Paul has been fined $15K for initiating the altercation. I don't think I made enough about this the other day. Jordan Jeremy Clarkson and Ron Holland squared up with each other. And I think I mentioned this on the show, but it didn't feel like Ron Holland, like he squared up with him as well, right? And he's like, ha, come on, Jordan Jeremy Clarkson, let's fight. Ha, 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 I'm squaring up like you do in that stupid meme because you're a lunatic. And Jordan Jeremy Clarkson's like, let's fight! Ah! And just like had at him. It was awesome. It was also completely insane. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, I feel like Ron Holland was just taking the piss and sort of got sucked into it. Jordan Clarkson, lunatic. All right, last little bit. Michael Porter Jr. So the Nuggets today in their game weren't very good, and it took overtime to get by the Pelicans, who were just abysmal. And Michael Porter Jr. didn't play in like a big chunk of that game after the third quarter, basically. 3:24 mark in the third quarter. And people are kicking around the old Michael Porter Jr. trades, and it feels like I wonder if this is one of those like, right, off you go, on your bike. I'm sick of this. You're going to get traded for Zach LaVine tomorrow kind of vibes. So it was pretty brutal. Not a great look for MPJ. And LaVine is also one of those dudes that keeps, the name keeps popping up for Golden State. Also for here, keeps happening left, right, and center. But I don't know. What about DeAndre Hunter? What about Cam Johnson? There's other names out there for MPJ, but the cool thing is there's a couple of names like this that you sort of look at and go, yeah, I can sort of see how these names floating out there could be good and bad for these other teams. So we'll see what happens. But Michael Porter Jr. being held out today, is there smoke there? I don't know. LaVine, possibly. And the other one that popped off was De'Aaron Fox. Apparently his agent is with Clutch. Rich Paul was in town. Sat down with Sacramento Brass just to have a bit of a chat about De'Aaron Fox's future. And I'll tell you what, that sounds like he wants out of there, which checks out. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, hey, let's do some game wraps from the weekend, shall we? Game wraps. Saturday was a bit of a weird one. Embiid came back and Philly smoked the Charlotte Hornets 108-98. He had 35, 5, and 9. That's 5 rebounds. There was a big chunk of the game where he just didn't get a rebound. It's like, you're Joel Embiid. You're 7'2". What are you doing? It's weird. Milwaukee, as predicted on this here program, fell a bit short up against Cleveland. That's right. Cleveland! 124-101. Cavs just deleted them. Bucks, just a bit of a come down after their sojourn to win the NBA Cup. But still, you get that on the big jobs. OKC also on the back of an NBA Cup trip. We did pick Miami in this one. They lose at 97-104. The Thunder just too good. 33-6-4 from J-Dub. Jalen Williams, because he's like, hey, is anyone paying attention to this game? And everyone's like, no. And he's like, all right, check this out. One of those interesting ones where J-Dub on the big stage shits his pants on a random game in Miami in late December. Late December back in 24. J-Dub at 33, 6 and 4. And nobody cared because they beat Miami. There you go. 104-97. Good job by the Thunder. Then we had, so that was weird, right? Remember Saturday? There was like 3 games. I'm sitting there. We had a big family, Chrissy sort of thing. I'm sort of like, throughout the morning, I made a couple of, not too. Geez, Jim, did you do a bit of cooking? Yes, I did. Piss off. Old mate was just like, I'm going to guilt you into doing the salads. I'm like, there's no fucking guilting. Just ask. I shouldn't have to ask. Oh, fucking here we go. That conversation, every dude out there is just nodding their head going, yes, Jim. Yeah, you stepped in it right then, didn't you? I'm like, yes, I did. Anyway, I was cooking up a storm. It was great. Watching these games, sort of, they're all very, very concurrent as well, which is pretty good. So you're switching, doing the Ray Allen tweet, switching back and forth. And don't Google that. And OKC getting by Miami was very, very solid, very impressive. Cleveland just whomping the Bucks was sick. And Philly, despite Paul George being shit, it was an impressive win. And then Sunday, so this is when you made gym, woke up late, having a nice little bit of a lay-in. I was out Friday night too. Jeez. Mate, Jim's been on the terps. Oh, it's the bloody silly season, isn't it? But Sunday, I'm up, having a bit of a sleep in, wake up, look after the squids for a bunch. Watching this one, the Lakers-Sacramento game was absolutely off its rocker. 103, they beat the Kings 99. LeBron had 32, 7, and 6. Rui was amazing. AD apparently just can't hit free throws. Don't know what's going on there. It was nuts. It was a really good win for the Lakers. We'll talk about them in weekend winners and losers. I promise. Miami lost to Orlando in insane circumstances. 114-121. 37 point to 8 fourth quarter. That's right, a 37 point to 8 point fourth quarter from the Orlando Magic, down 22. They win by 7. That's the largest comeback in the play-by-play era and in Magic franchise history. That was insane. Cole Anthony was off his head. And this is just... Orlando are incredible. They keep losing dudes, and they're like, we do not care. Check this out. And you're like, God damn. I said God damn. Just so much fight. Cole Anthony was absolutely awesome. Like, he was just so goddamn good. He went 13 and 25. Unbelievable game. And this was without Jalen Suggs. So they started Anthony Black, KCP, Goga, who didn't miss, went 8 of 8. Tristan De Silva and Wandale only played the 13 minutes. And yeah, big win. Huge stuff. So the ankle sprain for Jalen Suggs doesn't matter. They just go next man up and keep winning. It is El Clasico for the Orlando Magic. Memphis curb stomped Atlanta 128-112. That was without Ja. Yeesh, Atlanta. This is the classic Atlanta as well, isn't it? Utah beat Brooklyn 105-94. Wasn't even that close, but Box Hill Ben Simmons had another double-digit scoring game. We're going to talk about that later because, hot damn! Is Box Hill Benny back? Box Hill Benny, baby, might be. I don't know. Philly 99, Cleveland 126. Cavs are just curb stomping teams for fun at this point. Boston 123, bounce back win over Chicago 98. Easy money there. Washington, Milwaukee, so Algonquin for the good land. The Bucks win at 112-101. They raise their NBA Cup champions banner hastily. Very much looked like the work experience kid was given the job of designing that. Minnesota lost to Golden State, and I have some big problems with Minnesota, and so does Ant-Man. The Knicks smashed the Pelicans 104-93. The Clippers lost in Dallas. Good bounce-back win for the Mavs without Luka. 113-97. San Antonio, Wemby had an insane game when they killed Portland. They did get straight killed, didn't they? Oh, yes. Straight. Bloody killed.
So he got straight killed.
94-114. And then Detroit. That's right. The Detroit basketball Pistons beat the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix 133-125. KD's 43. Not enough. Trouble there in the desert. It's chaos. And then today, Houston outlasted, well, they came back and then outlasted Toronto after a couple of weird fuckeries from the refs at the end. 114-110. Fun, weird game, that one. Like, really weird. Super bloody weird. Like, Jalen Green was on an absolute heater early. My entire thing was like, Fred VanVleet revenge game. He shot 1 of 10. But Dylan the Villain Brooks was pretty bloody good. He had 27 and crushed it down the stretch. 27, Jacoby Walter didn't miss to start off with. They didn't have RJ Barrett. I thought they would. He was out with an illness. And Scotty Barnes couldn't hit the side of a bloody, wait for it, barn. And they nearly still won. Toronto, off your head. Indy smashed Sacramento 122-95. I mentioned that in the video this morning. something whiffy going on in Sacramento. And then Denver took overtime to get by the Pelicans because Denver are just 132, 129. Brutal. Let's do some weekend winners and losers out of all that, should we? Yes.
Oh my God. I won! I won!
Recapping our day's top story, the winner of today's state lottery
is me. That's right. Oklahoma City Thunder. They just went and swept the Florida trip after losing in the NBA Cup final on back-to-back games as well, right? So that's kind of the key point where they turned around. They beat Orlando the other day, and then they turned around and beat the Heat, which is pretty impressive for the young team coming out there and just going, no, it's going to be fine, man. So they lose that Bucks game. That was their first loss in 5 games, and now they've just won another 2 on the road. Bang, bang, in Florida. Not bloody bad. And the other one, basically, in a surprise twist, the 2 big winners from the weekend are the teams on top of their respective conferences. How do you say it?
Cleveland!
That's right, Cleveland Cavaliers. Awesome display when they just shit pumped Philly in that second game, but that came after beating the Bucks by 23 as well, after smashing the Nets by 29. That's just insane. They are killing teams in these last 3 games. That's a 29, 23, 27 point margin of victory across the last 3 games each. That is insane. They look incredible. And it's been like, even with like losing Isaac Okoro, great job by them. All right. Who else we got? In the weekend winners, we have the Lakers. The Lakers are good at the moment. As long as they keep playing Sacramento. LeBron James wasn't bad. I'll tell you what, pretty bloody good. And outside of that, I mean, just trying to float under the radar and just rack up some wins, I feel like it's a pretty good idea right now for the Lakers, right? Just to bank some bloody wins. But the biggest thing for me is that they're back in the top 6 of the West. So they beat the Grizzlies the other day, 116-110. A very, very, very good win. And then they turn around, beat the Kings in back-to-back games, 113-100 and 103-99. They now go to Detroit to take on the Pistons, which is a bit sneaky, like tough. But they are on top of the Pacific Division, which is just absolutely chaotic at the moment. They're on top, ahead of the Warriors, ahead of the Clippers, ahead of the Suns, and ahead of the Kings. Remarkably, the Kings are the only team under 500 in that list, and they're the ones that you're like, I feel like they're pretty good, right? No. The Lakers are doing really, really well at the moment. They've won 4 of their last 5, which is pretty good considering they'd lost 4 of their previous 5. But anyway, good job by the Lakers. They're weekend winners. The Grizzlies, second in the West. They follow up their smashing of Golden State with a dominant win over Atlanta without Ja Morant. They're 20-9. They're second in the West, and they look unreal. My favorite thing, though, to come out of that Warriors win was just Zach Edey just pushing Draymond around. It's like, go on, do something. And Draymond's like, I don't know if you're European or not. You kind of look like it. And he couldn't do anything because Zach Edey was too big. It was amazing. We've already talked about Cleveland being like, I think my favorite thing was them not being afraid as well, right? And there's another team that's not afraid of anybody at this point. 18-10 Knickerbockers of New York City. They're third in the East, 3 straight wins. They're playing all the minutes, like all of them. They're like, give your minutes to me, we're going to play them. And they just kept winning. So good win over the Pelicans after that huge curb stomping in Cats homecoming to Minnesota. I was wary of that game because that's like the emotional letdown, right? You go to the Pelicans, shit team, whatever. We've just dealt a big blow, kicked the crap out of the Wolves, Karl Anthony Towns. On the other side, you got Dante DiVincenzo. They were all talking shit in preseason. And then the letdown game hits and they lose to the Pelicans or something. Nope. The Knicks didn't do it. It was impressive. So good job by them. Houston, 19-9, third in the West, looking pretty good. That was a really good fight back in Toronto, despite the sort of fuckery that got them over the line. They needed to sort of put the foot down. Dylan Brooks steps up, has a really, really fun game as Fred VanVleet's just shitting himself. And they were just pretty bloody handy. It was a I love the phrase professional win. And they fought back. They got into it. And they got up. It's their first win in Toronto since 2019 as well, which is pretty gnarly. You had 17 and 10 for Alpi Şengün. And, I mean, it's just, it was a very, very, very impressive sort of like, oh, God, we're going to not shit our pants in this one. And last year's Rockets would have. This year's did not. Alex Caruso is a weekend winner because he's now got $80 million coming to him. Not bad for an undrafted G League player. Seriously, that's absolutely unreal. What a legend. That's all-time shit. Outside of this, I mean, maybe the Pacers. They've won 4 on the trot now. They're 14 and 15, and they're sort of getting back into a bit of a vibe. And, like, I think I had them picked for this morning's game against the Kings because I'm like, Indy, when they beat Phoenix on the road the other day, I think it was, Friday, that was kind of like hang on a second. Are they putting this together? Now they've got Nembhard back. Their rotation makes a little bit more sense. Benny Mathurin is just that scoring punch that they need. Tyrese Halliburton is sort of doing his thing. And Johnny Furphy got some run today, so that was pretty fun. But they are doing all right, and that's kind of impressive. So good job by the Pacers. The Jazz have won a couple on the trot, and same with the Spurs. The Spurs are just like chaos. They also might be weekend winners because Wemby just had a wildly insane game where he had 10 blocks. I'm going to talk about that extensively in a second. But more importantly, I think old mate might have got me one of those City Edition Wemby Spurs jerseys. I'm not much of a Spurs fan, but that jersey is off its bloody head. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Just saying. I think she also got me a throwback Grizzlies jersey. So I'm excited. I can't wait for Christmas now. That's awesome. And then finally, Ben Simmons. Oh, geez, Jim. Don't you usually shit on Ben Simmons? I shit on Ben Simmons when he plays like shit. When he plays well, we give him his bloody flowers, don't we? He had 15.6 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, and went 5 or 6 at the free throw line the other day against the Jazz. It's a soft J. That's double-digit scoring in back-to-back-to-back games for the first time since 2021. That's incredible. And, you know, I was breaking down the field goal attempts the other day, and so this was his first game of the season where he's had double-digit field goal attempts. As I pointed out the other day, in 2018, he had 4 total games where he had under double digits. So it's heartening signs, right? And that's all we want. We want heartening signs. We want him to get aggressive, play well, and get better. That's awesome. Good job, Box Hill Benny. Let's do some weekend losers, though.
We're not losers. No, you two are winners. Big winners. When I grow up, I want to marry a big winner like you guys. Shut up.
Losers.
Loser.
Losers. The Orlando Magic. I don't know what the curse is. Is the curse of like not putting up enough of a fight to keep Shaq and pay him through the nose to stop him from going to the Lakers a million years ago? I don't know if you're of my vintage and can remember that, but it was a bloody shock at the time. And you're just like, oh, that's stupid. I love that Horace Grant's like, that's all my fault. But still. They lose Paolo, they lose Franz, they lose Jalen Suggs, and then they lose Mo Wagner. You're like, Jesus. Bro, what are we doing? So you've lost Paolo, Franz, and Mo. What about Curly and Larry? Jesus. Ugh. I reckon it's because of ownership. Nuggets are losers. But Jim, they beat the Pelicans. Yeah, and they fucking sucked doing it. It was such a punish watching this Nuggets team get by the Pelicans, who, remember, have CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, do not have Zion, do not have Brandon Spindles Ingram, lost Trey Murphy at one point, and also at one point had Herb Jones like limping off. You're like, is like Hawkins like their best player outside of DeJounte and CJ? And it's like, yeah, maybe. Jeez. It's absolutely brutal gear to watch because the Nuggets don't have anybody. It's like Aaron Gordon is good. Michael Porter Jr. is good. Jokic is good. Jamal Murray is good. He had 27 and 8 today. Jokic had the 27, 13, and 10. 17 and 8 from Air Gordon. Obviously, MPJ was benched. And I had this written down. Like, Rusty was good in this game again. So the Nuggets gave up that stupid buzzer-beating layup to the Blazers the other day as he just walked around Rusty. But Rusty had 21, 5 and 5 with 3 steals and a block. And at times he's like the only fucking dude on this Nuggets team that seems to care. Where the fuck would they be without Russell Westbrook? Which is a horrifying sentence to be saying in the year 2024, right? But just imagine if they didn't have like his influence coming up the bench. Like, I feel that would, like, you could go, oh, well, you see, Jim, you did put like the ball in the hands of the younger people. Yeah, and do you think they go 9 of 14, be +6 in 36 minutes in a game that they only sort of sneak over the line in? I don't know, but it's probably not that great. It's wild. Anyway, Phoenix, if they don't have Booker or KD, they suck apparently because they got KD back. He's, had the 43, and they got beaten by Detroit. It is a worry out there in Arizona. They are BAD bad. Okay. And, like, it's especially, like, obviously when they've got their 3 dudes playing, or essentially when they've got KD and Devin Booker playing together, they're seemingly okay. But now they've just dropped 2 home games to the Pacers, who are shit on the road, and Detroit, which is likewise. It is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's just, like that Detroit game, Jalen Duren was absolutely everywhere. They got 28 out of Cunningham, 20 out of Jaden Ivey. And like Brad Beal dropped 26 on their heads, 19 from Tyus Jones, 43 for KD, and they couldn't do enough because Malik Beasley hit like 5 threes. Like, there is something to miss in the Valley of the Sun, just saying. And I don't like it. Maybe it's because, like, I don't know, Grayson Allen's forgotten how to shoot, but still. The Kings, they are massive weekend losers, aren't they? Back-to-back losses to the Lakers. The Lakers, jeez. 4 straight losses overall, 13 and 17. This might be it. This might be the bite the bullet time and Darren Fox on your bike, which is insane. He means so much to that franchise, but I feel like he's looking around going, what the fuck are we doing? The DeRozan trade, as I said at the time, it's like, that's not what they need. What are we doing? It's incredible. And the Souvlaki King is not your defensive fucking minded center. What do you, just put some defensive forwards in there at some point. Jesus, they are horrible. Toronto, good tanking. Good tanking. Pelicans, good tanking. Good tanking. Utah, bad tanking. You're losers. You just got to stop winning these games. I mean, but they did beat Brooklyn. Sort of saw that coming. Brooklyn, good tanking. But Toronto, the Pelicans, Brooklyn, Utah, Washington getting their heads kicked in by the Bucks and co. It's just good tanking. And that's good business this year. It's a loaded draft. What are you doing if you're not tanking? But wow, some of these teams are a punish to watch, aren't they? It is like there is so much, like, the weirdest part is you look at the Pelicans, you go, cool, you got DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum. Eve Missy is playing out of his ass, and they're still getting their heads kicked in. It's crazy. Toronto, you got Jacoby Walter going nuts, but still getting their heads kicked in. But finally, the Wolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves are, what's the word? That's right. Yeah, shit. God, they suck. So they've just dropped, what, two straight games, 133-107 to the Knicks in that Cat game. And then you expect them to bounce back and go, well, we've beat the Warriors already. And the Warriors beat them again. 113-103. Curry had 31 in this one. Big good bounce back for Steph. Didn't really have the Warriors in the winners column because it's like, yeah, you beat the Wolves. You got Steph back. The big problem is Ant-Man's playing like shit. And the Wolves are just kind of bad. They're just kind of bad. Defensively, they're all over the shop. We talked about the other day. Like, it has sort of gotten back to what made them successful last year a little bit. And then it sort of just disappeared again. And offensively, like, if Ant-Man doesn't have it going, they're just, rooted. It's tough watching. Jaden McDaniels has forgotten how to shoot, apparently. Mike Conley, he's got a busted wrist anyway. And Dante DiVincenzo at least had a good bounce-back game. But if Ant-Man's not firing and Randall looks completely disinterested, the Wolves, cooked. Absolutely cooked. So they're weekend losers as well. All right, let's do a couple of NBA Australia approved performances of the weekend.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Ice cold! Cole Anthony, 35 points on 13 and 25 shooting, 2 of 8 from downtown, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals. He was awesome in that massive comeback win over Miami. Gave a very nice emotional speech after as well. Love that. Cade Cunningham, 28 and 13 assists down there in the Valley of the Sun up against the Phoenix Suns. Great game from him. Jason Tatum with the 43, 15 and 10 triple-double against the Bulls. Shot 16 and 24 and 9 of 15 from downtown. Absolutely off his head. Brunson dropped 39 in that Knicks win as well. KD had the 43 in the Suns' loss. But the best, most insane stat line, well, he also had the Joker triple-double today, just saying. But Victor Wembanyama had the 30-point, 7 rebound, 3 assist, 10 block game for the Spurs. Shot 8 of 16, 4 of 8 from downtown. He is the 4th player since 83-84 to have a game with 30-plus points and 10 blocks. 4th player. Hakeem did it 5 times, David Robinson 3, Dwight once. So he's the first one to do it since 2008 when Dwight did it. Absolutely sick. Wemby is 20 and easily the youngest to do it. So absolutely insane game. And I do have that sneaky little taste on Wemby getting a quadruple double at some point this season from the preseason futures. So we'll see if that actually happens. But goddamn, that was very, very cool. Big weekend for big performances, right? How about the Spuds of the night? Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night. Woo! We had some Spuds. Andre Jackson and AJ Green for the Bucks went 0 of 5 and 0 of 4. Not great. 1 of 10 shooting for Fred VanVleet, the fighting VanVleets. As I mentioned, he was having a rough one in his return to Toronto. I was banking on a much bigger response, not 1 of 10. Herb Jones went 1 of 7, so did DeMar DeRozan there. He was more like DeMar DeFrozen cold there. 2, 2, and 2, 222. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. 2 for 22. 1 of 7 shooting in 28 minutes. He was absolutely brutal for the Kangs against the Pacers today. DeMar. Just gross. 1 of 6 for Isaiah Joe, Deuce McBride, Mike Conley. 2 of 15 for Scotty Barnes. Oh, brutal. 2 of 12 for Paul George, Denny Avdija, and Jeremiah Grant. Derek White went 3 of 12. Keon Johnson, 3 of 14. So did Malik Monk. Duncan Robinson, I like to have a beer with Duncan. Went 4 of 14 shots. 4 of 13 for Miles Bridges. 6 of 20 for Ant-Man. 6 of 25 for Kyrie. Oh, boy. 6 of 18 as well for Harden in that same game. But in that same fashion, I would like to thank Andrew Wiggins and Cumdog Millionaire, Johnny Cumbucket, for being a couple of teammates who just went and shot a special number. And so did Kelly Oubre. So did Duncan Robinson from 3 in that OKC game. And Anthony Penny Simons on 3 as well from 3 against the Spurs. They all went and shot. That's right. Andrew Wiggins and Cumdog in the same game. Kelly Oubre, Duncan Robinson, and Anthony Simons all shot. Oh, here we go. Chill! Woo! Yeah! They went and shot 311. Legends. Absolutely legends. How about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Potamski got a technical foul from the refs for pointing out the beer was spilled on the court. He was like yelling, "Oh, we need that cleaned up." And they gave him a tech. That's just great reffing. Absolutely great reffing. As per usual, the NBA refs just doing a stellar job where there's no fuckery involved whatsoever. A Pelicans ball boy got teched up as well during the game. He sort of ran in front of like Jalen Brunson to like clean up a spill as they were about to inbound the ball. So that was their second delay of game warning, so they copped the tech foul. And Ant-Man, a bit of old mate, no mates. He's out there just dropping fucking terrible. All of them besides the woman. I said one thing and he gave me a tech. MF told one of my teammates if I would have said, "You're calling a bad foul," he would have gave me a tech. N-word, sensitive and terrible. I don't think that's going to work out great for Ant-Man, but geez, that is a man who is not happy. I'll tell you that much. Pantsing of the night. Eve's Missy just went through Nikola Jokic. That was a bit of a pantsing. Jason Tatum. Yeah, Tatum. He deleted Jalen Smith. It was a sick dunk. But then my favorite over the weekend was Evan Mobley. He got 2 of them at once. Andre Drummond and KJ Martin. He got a twofer. It's not often you get an old twofer pantsing. It's just like walking up and down the old twofer. Mobley absolutely yammed on him. I loved that. That was very, 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 very cool. And old mate, no mates as well. Back to that for a second. Michael Porter Jr. being sat for that entire fourth quarter stretch is just up against the Pelicans. Gross. Finally, not finally because we've still got the other ones. Better than Lonzo Ball / Bronny James.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Jacoby Walter, God, he was good. Not many 2024 rookies have actually topped the old 20-plus point mark. He ripped off 27, 2 and 3, made 6 threes today as well. Shot 9 of 18 from the floor, 6 of 11 from downtown, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, and then fouled out. He scored the first 14 points of the game for the Raptors today. It was absolutely sick. So he's like a combination of Ja Morant and Kobe. So he's Jacoby Walter. It just makes sense. And Yves Missy as well, up against the Nuggets today. He was absolutely on fire at different points and just gave them like he's good. He had 21 and 9 with 3 blocks and 2 steals, shot 9 and 12 from the floor. He's a weapon. I love him. He's really, 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 really good. Same goes for Jordan Hawkins, who had the 25 points today, 5 of 13 from downtown. Both better than Bronny James, both better than Lonzo Ball, and really, really good. But Jacoby Walter, that was wicked. What a legend. Good job by him. All right, what about the magic tweet of the day? Everyone's favorite. I love this one too. Wow! Jaden Daniels worked his magic once again to pull us to a comeback victory over the Eagles. An incredible last-second touchdown to Crowder. Clapping emoji. At Commanders fans, it looks like we'll be going to the playoffs with a 10-5 record. Thanks, Magic. I also like this one. Happy 30th birthday to my beautiful daughter, Elisa. It's been a joy to see you become the woman and entrepreneur that you are today. I can't wait to see how God continues to bless you. I love you. Thanks, Magic. Yeah, I love it. Oh, she's a great entrepreneur. It's fucking pretty easy to be an entrepreneur when you're Magic Johnson's kid. What are we doing? Finally, dickhead of the weekend. Dickhead of the Week! This one goes back. The Draymond Green Memorial Dickhead of the Weekend Award goes to, in a surprise, to Draymond Green, who cracked it the other day. Zach Edey giving him the business after Draymond had been shit-talking Zach Edey. It was pretty funny, so I enjoyed that. Him just chucking an absolute fucking wobbly as they got their heads kicked in is just an all-time clip. Absolutely all-time, so I enjoyed that a lot. Good stuff. All right. We've got some good year-nahs coming up right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You listen to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do it. Let's do some yeah-nahs. We've got some listener yeah-nahs today. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Matty G. Hey, Jim. Yeah, nah, I think the Warriors had a spelling error in their box score today. I think they spelled Draymond's DMP embarrassed by previous performance as left ankle. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I love that. The weird thing for me is that Steph went off with Draymond not there. And they handled their business pretty easily, right? The Warriors, as they ran over the top of the Wolves. It was a bit late, but they got there. The weird thing was, like, Andrew Wiggins and Cumbucket shooting 3-11 at the same time in the same game was pretty crazy, but it just sort of shows you that as sort of Steph goes, the Warriors going to go. He had 31 and 10, shot 7-16 from 3, and they won the game. Whereas Draymond did not play shit himself. It was definitely spelt left ankle. Bit weird. Jez Oz got a couple of good ones. Hey, Big Jim, got a couple of yeah-nahs for you. Number one, when KD goes down, the Suns turn into the Wizards from the West. Yeah, nah. Fully, it's wicked. It's bizarre. Like, so I was talking about how if you look at that Suns team and you like go, why are they so bad? KD drops 43. Beal has what? The 26. The thing is, it's like Beal doesn't make too many people better. Like, that's been a big Brad Beal for a long time. He had the 26, 6 and 5, a couple of turnovers, a couple of fouls, a minus 15 in 39 minutes. It's a game they lost by 8. It's just Grayson Allen. That's probably the biggest answer for me, though, for the Suns. Like, when you got Tyus Jones sort of doing his thing, 19 and 2, but he was a minus 11 in 33 minutes. Nurk, 10, 7 and 6. It's just Nurk. He's big. He's not as big as he used to be. 11 and 3 for Royce. I know you got 43 and 8 turnovers for KD. That's a bit of a rough number. And Grayson Allen, though, 20 minutes, 0 of 1. And the one shot that he took was a 3, and he missed it. Doesn't help matters, does it? They're horrible. And this is with KD playing. So, it's crazy how bad they are. Like, if KD and Booker are playing at the same time. This is Beal and Durant, and they still get beaten by bloody Detroit. Number 2. No one will trade for LeBron because they don't want to deal with the legacy circus that comes with him. He and the Lakers are stuck together till he's done. Look, I don't think he's going to go anywhere else, right? And I think they're kind of content going, look, what are you going to do? Leave? Like, they're not going to bend over backwards to accede to every one of his wishes now because they kind of don't have to. It's like, you're 40, LeBron. We're not going to play this game anymore. Oh, no, what are you going to do? You're going to no trade clause. You're going to force your way out. Where are you going to go? Golden State? Good fucking luck, buddy. So, I think he's stuck as a Laker for the rest of his career. And the fun thing about this, on top of this, is like the sort of, I want to hear from Lakers fans out there. Like, do they consider Laker, like, in the pantheon of Lakers, do they think of LeBron as a Laker? And this is like the Outback Takehouse that I had the other day. Once he made that final skip from Cleveland back to LA, like, that was probably where the NBA, even for casual fans, probably just went, so it's just this now, is it? Right? Because the decision was like the big totem of LeBron's ganging up on everybody else to go get a title. Weak. Gets 2 titles, not 4, not 5, not 6, 2. But then the Cleveland, that's right, Cleveland was one of the all-time great titles. 2016, an incredible final series, 3-1 down, they win it all. It's just amazing. And like, that's legacy-defining shit. You can do whatever the fuck you want after that. Oh, but he won a title in LA after. No, you got a fucking Mickey Mouse title that barely counts. Piss off. Right? And like, you can sort of see in the NBA Cup the other day, I was talking about how it felt like the bubble. And the Bucks win it, and you're like, good on you, cool. Lakers won it last year, who cares? And it's that last skip to LA from Cleveland, even with Cleveland falling apart around him. Like, that roster was very similar to this Lakers roster now and the Miami roster when he left there, where he sucks up so much oxygen and so much development from all the other players that no one gets better on those. Like, the teams get older and they get worse. It's weird. It's not really that weird when you look at the common factor, which is LeBron. It's just bizarre. And he's going to stay there forever. And he'll end up playing probably more seasons as a Laker than Shaq did, which is weird and gross. But still, that last jump was the one that might have been the for the casual NBA fan. Right. Number 3, the Warriors being the franchise worth the most in the NBA. So I talked about this on Friday's show about the franchise valuations. They were like over $9 billion in number 1. So the Warriors being the franchise worth the most in the NBA. If they hadn't have fired Mark Jackson, they'd still be a basket case. I'm going to say yeah, because Mark Jackson was a shit coach and a shit bloke. And like 100% would have like fucked up the Draymond situation completely. Would have probably somehow managed a way to fuck up the Splash Brothers. And it's like, oh, but he instilled a defensive sort of idea like in them. It's like, great. But if he had stayed in charge, they 100% would have fucked up somehow. And there's like a tactical nous that sort of comes with this sort of shit that we never saw from him. There's a lot of sort of behind the scenes managerial fuckery that was beginning to bite them in the ass, which is why he got shit canned. So, yeah. It's a remarkable thing to think of that Steph Curry and them having him at a discount because of his fucked ankles earlier on in his career and moving from Mark Jackson to Steve Kerr probably is worth about $5 billion to Joe Lacob. Remarkable. Remarkable. Tomorrow, I want to flesh out the Team USA versus the World that Matty O sent through the other day, because I've got some rosters in mind. And tomorrow's show is just going to be a big preview for Boxing Day, etc. Because there's the 14 games tomorrow. So I'm not going to be hanging out with you at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve doing a show to put up that no one will listen to. I'll put it up earlier tomorrow and get that up. So you're ready and primed for Boxing Day instead. And we'll do this Team USA World All-Star format idea a little bit deeper, which would be kind of fun. So, just a heads up. Let's do an unpopular opinion of the day for today.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Ant-Man might be the problem there in Minnesota. Right. He's somehow... he might have too many kids. That might be the Outback Takehouse as well, I'm just saying. But Julius Randle is getting rightfully fucking roasted for his shit attitude and his shit output in Minnesota. But by the same token, Karl Anthony Towns had a bit of a shit attitude and a shit output in Minnesota last year as well, right? And what's the straw stirring the drink there in Minnesota? It's still Ant-Man and it's still Chris Finch. And at some point, you're going to go, hang on a second. I think as much as we all blow smoke up Ant-Man's ass, it's not exactly all Julius Randle's fault. Ant-Man, and I sort of talked about this at length preseason, this should have been the absolute MVP coming out season of Ant-Man, and instead he's just shooting a lot more threes. Right? So he's averaging 25.6 points a game, 5.4 rebounds and 4 assists. Those numbers are all down on last year. Oh, he's getting accustomed. We're more than we're a third of the way through the season. Like, he's played 27 games and he's worse than he was last year. He's shooting better from 3 and he's taking like almost 4 more per game. But his overall shooting percentage is down. The big problem for me is that he's going to the line less, and that's never a fucking good sign. It's a 23-year-old shooting guard. Get to the fucking line more than 4 times a game, Ant-Man. What are you doing? That's the problem. There's not as much space as there was with Cat, and so he's got no fucking driving lanes. So it's this sort of weird combination of Minnesota going, oh, we've got Dante and we've got Julius, and Julius is like, I can shoot threes, and everyone going, we don't really care. And them just going, right, well, we'll just cut off Anthony Edwards attacking the basket and we're fucking bonza. And that's exactly what's happening. He's hitting 0.1 less field goals per year this year and averaging less points per game. This is meant to be the breakout MVP. I'm just saying, it's not all Julius Randle's fault. Anyway, other good one. Unpopular opinion. Oh, that was the unpopular opinion. How about a bit of Outback Takehouse? It's Monday at Outback, and to celebrate Christmas, guess what? We're doing roast wombat all bloody week. Jeez. It's weird because you chop it up and it comes out in cubes just like their poos. But still, it's bloody delicious. If you roast it up, you get a nice crackling on it. It's basically a gamier pig. You know how you had roast pork over your Christmas and gear like that? Roast wombat. It's like that, but it's square and it's a bit tougher. And it's only at Outback. And today's flame grilled take is San Antonio should be fucking first in line to trade for De'Aaron Fox. Only at Outback. Yeah, why the fuck haven't they? I love missing some De'Aaron Fox. And if you have De'Aaron Fox on that Spurs team, like suddenly you're a team that's already right there. The Spurs are already in the 9 spot in the East. The Kings are fucked. They're 13 and 17. They're 2.5 games already out of the play-in. The Spurs should be on the fucking old dog and bone to the Kings ASAMP. De'Aaron Fox, and like this is the thing, he's not on the same time frame. He's 27. He quite literally turned 27 like 2 days ago. It's a 26 point per game scorer who averages 6.1 assists, 5 rebounds. Get him and Chris Paul together. Get Chris Paul teaching De'Aaron Fox even more tricks of the trade alongside Stephon Castle. And then you got a Fox Castle backcourt to go with Wemby into the future, and fucking Bob's your uncle. Put some wings around that with Wemby and fucking off you go. Go count some titles. Yes, mate. I love that. And the last one. I want you to chew over this one for a little bit and let me know what you reckon. The weird thing about the NBA is that former players fucking hate the NBA. Like, they hate the new NBA and they shit on it nonstop. The NFL doesn't shit on its own product. And even the old players lean towards the way the game played now is fucking nuts and pretty fucking fun and pretty great. And that's why it's the biggest fucking sport in America. You idiots. Stop shitting on your own product, you fucking dummies. Only at Outback. All right, let's take a quick break. Come back with a Australian Player Watch right after this.
This is Shane Heal, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, time for NBA Australia's Aussie Player Watch, the Australian Player Watch from Monday, December 23. It was a big weekend. I'll tell you that much. Box Hill Benny Ben Simmons had his third straight double-figure scoring game. For the first time since 2021, you'll love to see that. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, and a couple of steals on 5 of 11 shooting. His first time taking double-digit field goals. That's pretty good. And 5 of 6 at the free throw line. He also took a jumper. That was pretty good from the top of the key. Chaos. But either way, 15, 6, and 10. You love to see that. That was very good. Josh Green up against the Sixers the other day. He played 33 minutes. He had 4 points, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 3 rebounds, and a rough night all round up against the Sixers. 2 of 4 shooting, 0 of 1 from downtown. Bit of a rough one for Greeny. You do get that on the big jobs, but that was, it was a bit tough. It was a bit tough. How about our man, Josh Giddey? Well, he's injured at the moment, but is planning to be back for tomorrow's game. So the pre-Christmas game for the Bulls. He is questionable. So that's really, really good news considering that when he went down with that ankle injury, it looked absolutely horrible. So he's hopefully back soon, and that's very, very good news for the Bulls and for Josh Giddey. How about Dyson Daniels, though? Bit of a tough loss against the Grizzlies on Sunday. He had 15 points, though, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and he's back, baby. 6 steals! The Great Barrier Thief, the Bendigo Bandit himself. He shot 6 of 9, nice, from the floor, and 3 of 5 from downtown. Absolutely crushed in that game, unfortunately. The Hawks lost at 128-112. Yeah, not great, but it's all right. Sometimes it happens. Johnny Furphy, old mate Tins. I love Johnny Frost. Had a great putback dunk today. It was his first game in a week. He had 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist in the 122-95 point win over the Sacramento Kings. Shot 2 of 2 from the floor in his 8 minutes. The 4-1-1, not bad. Great job, Johnny Tins. Jingling Joe Ingles missed out on the Wolves' loss to the Warriors on the weekend as well. Still out with his back injury. And Patty Thrills in his return to Brooklyn. Copped another did not play coach's decision. But Jock Landale today got out there for the Rockets against the Toronto Raptors, which is very, very fun. He actually also played against the Pelicans I think it was on Friday, as we mentioned on Friday's iteration. Today, he had 3 minutes and didn't trouble the scorers. So it was 3 minutes. He got the 3 trillion, 3-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0. Jack McVeigh did not play coach's decision in that same game as well, which is always a bit of a tough one, but he's been in and around the G League situation. So as long as he actually sort of keeps getting listed and being available, I'm kind of happy with that. And so should you. Up next, we had Portland out there having a bit of a rough one. And Duop, the Great Barrier Reef, played 3 minutes against the Spurs. He had 3 points and 1 assist. He went 1 of 3 from downtown. They were all the shots that he took, 1 of 3 from the floor. Not bad. Obviously, Aussie Matty T still out with his ankle injury. Dante Exum still out with his wrist injury. And Alex Dugas not out there playing for the Thunder at the moment. He was dealing with a back injury. So hopefully he'll be back soon. I like that one. Back. Did you get it? I hope so. And that is all of the Aussies for the moment. So it'd be nice for some of them to get out on the court a little bit more. But at the moment, it's good to see Dyson Daniels, Ben Simmons doing pretty well. Be nice to get Giddy back there as well. And that'll do us for today for the NBA Australia Aussie Player Watch. All right. Should we do it? Let's do an Andrew Gaze Graham Umber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba.
Outstanding achievement in the field of excellence.
All right, let's do it. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama becoming the 6th player in NBA history to have 30-plus points and 10 blocks in a game. Joins Hakeem, the Admiral. Artis Gilmore did it as well. Dwight Howard, Kareem. It's pretty good. Very, very nice. But my favorite stat is that Victor Wembanyama has more career blocks already than 91.1% of all players in NBA history. It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? It's a lot. But that's Wemby. He's out there absolutely causing all sorts of havoc. And, I mean, those numbers just don't lie. 91.1% of all players. So he had 254 blocks in his first season, and he already has 87 blocks this year. So 341 total career blocks. Blocks are hard. I'm just saying. That's pretty bloody crazy. He's also averaging 3.2 threes a game as well as 3.8 blocks a game. In NBA history, no one has averaged 2.5 in both categories at the same time. So if you want a list of the people who've done 2 threes and 2 blocks, it's Brook Lopez in 2018-19. The Extreme Zinger Meal. In 2019-20. Miles Turner in 24-25. And Victor Wembanyama blowing them all out of the water with 3.2 and 3.8. Absolutely incredible stuff. Wemby is off his bloody rocker. And it's very cool. All right. Patty Mills Game Day Ball, Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, Patty. Let's go. Patty Thrills, Patty Mills. I think we... Oh, there's a Josh Giddey one. He's all dressed up. That's a Jay Teledubby. That's a bit weird. Don't know about that. What's he wearing? It's a weird sort of top there, but anyway, good on you, Josh. That's good stuff. Where is Patty Mills? There he is. I thought we did have a new one, but that's all right. Utah. Oh, wow. There's like a big Utah sort of road trip one that he's got in his save stories. But no other updates. But there you go. Josh Giddey there causing all sorts of havoc in that new fit. It's like, all right, good on him. But are you ready? Are you strapped in? 14 games for Christmas Eve? Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Game previews. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Oh, pretty bloody good. This has been a really good run-up to Christmas, hasn't it? I love a Christmas on a Wednesday. Because no one's done work for 2.5 weeks, apart from you, mate, Jim. It's been nuts. And, like, yeah, good weekend. Hung out with the couple of mates on the Friday night. Smashed 1 million beers. And then had the big family thing on Saturday. And it was awesome. and just tins everywhere, and it's still like a couple of days for Christmas. Feeling good. So there is a huge Christmas Eve slate tomorrow, and as I mentioned, we're not going to wrap up all these games on tomorrow's show. Instead, I'll do the show as these games are all going on, and basically just do a preview for Boxing Day and set you all up for that. And then I'll be off for a couple of days, and we'll probably try to do a Boxing Day wrap-up show, but depending on timing of getting down to the beach house and all that sort of stuff, we'll see how we go for the holidays. But anyway, just a little bit of a programming note, and then we'll be off for the next couple of weeks. So, I've got to rest my voice because it's been getting a little bit scratchy and a little bit crappy. And also, I need a bit of a holiday because I didn't kind of get it with the Olympics and that sort of stuff. So, it's going to be fun. Bit of R&R down in Lawn. Can't wait. So, anyway, should be good. But anyway, before that, we've got Christmas Eve. Let's start. Houston at Charlotte. Jock Landale, Jack McVeigh up against their boomer mate, Josh Green. The Rockets, having played today in Toronto, are 6.5-point underdogs in Charlotte. Now, usually I'd be like, oh, the Hornets aren't that bad. They're not that bad at all. It's like, yeah, but they kind of are. You know, they're 7-21. They've lost 4 on the trot. They got their asses beat by the Sixers. They are home for this game, though. So maybe, just maybe they can cover that. More for me, though, is if Brandon Miller is any good to go, and I don't know that he will be. So let's have a look and see if Brandon Miller, because it feels like LaMelo being back, cool. Miles Bridges being back, cool. And yeah, Miller's already been ruled out for the Rockets game. I feel like the Rockets are still probably a little bit too deep and a little bit too good. I might have to go the Rockets. It's a bit of a big line. 6.5. So how about we look at maybe some of Charlotte's losses. And do you reckon they can keep this close? They lost by 10 to the Sixers. They lost by 9 to the Wizards. Block. Lost by 13. Prior to that to the Sixers. Lost by 14 to the Bulls. 14 to the Cavs. 24 to the Knicks. 6 to the... yeah, none of these losses have been close. I'm going to go Houston minus 6.5. Cleveland host Utah. Utah on the road, having won a couple of games on the trot. The Cavs are 14.5-point favorites up against Utah. Utah are not that good. Cleveland are absolutely curb-stomping teams, as I pointed out earlier, right? They're winning by like 23 against good teams. Utah are not that good. I'm going to go Cleveland in that one, 14.5 points. Boston on the road in Orlando. The Celtics are only 9.5-point favorites in Orlando against the Magic. That feels short. I'm going to go the Boston Celtics. The Magic, without Paolo, without Franz, without Mo, without Suggs maybe. It's a lot of Cole Anthony and Anthony Black. I'm going to go the Celtics on another bit of a tear after they smashed Chicago the other day. So give this to Celtics. San Antonio plus 5.5 in Philly because I believe in this Spurs team a little bit. Wemby's been fantastic of late. Embiid will love to have a crack at the skinny one. But I like San Antonio's ability to keep this one close in Philly up against Embiid and co. Because Embiid looks way undercooked. Doesn't want to get any rebounds. Let's go the Spurs plus 5.5. They could win this game and no one would be really that surprised. Philly have been just so up and down. It is a tough cover, I guess, Paul George for them, but they can sort of maybe throw Harrison Barnes at him and hope for the best. So give us the Spurs. Minnesota go to Atlanta. Oh boy, this is a big homecoming for Ant-Man. He went to college at Georgia. I mean, that's not in Atlanta, but it's Athens. That's where that one is. But still, big game for him. They are 4.5-point favorites against the Hawks. Hawks at home, though. I'm going to take the Hawks. They lost that Memphis game in disastrous fashion. At home, getting points as an underdog, though. Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter. They've got a bit of size to throw at Rudy Gobert and co. I like the Hawks' chances here. And they're a bit of a tough cover for the Wolves. So give me Atlanta plus 4.5. Brooklyn go to Miami. Brooklyn are playing very, 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 very bad basketball at the moment. Just got beaten by Utah at home. The Heat also just scored 8 points in a fourth quarter. Not great. I'm going to take Brooklyn plus 9.5 and hold my nose. Because Miami should kill them. But I don't know if Miami are going to start, Like, Miami lost to the Thunder by 7. They lost by 7 to the Magic. They lost to the Pistons the other day, remember? I don't trust them that much. So I'm going to go Brooklyn plus 9.5. Miami eke out a win. Toronto go to New York on a back-to-back. The Knicks are 14.5-point favorites. The Raps, I mean, if RJ can't go, I love this Knicks line of 14.5. It's a big line, 14.5 points. But, yeah, the Raps aren't much chop. Too many injuries. It's a lot of Jacoby Walter. Let's go the Knicks minus 14.5. They are firing on all cylinders again. Milwaukee go to Chicago. They are 1.5-point favorites. The Bucks. It should be a nice little bounce back. This should be a fun game, actually. The Chicago Bulls looked pretty good the other day, but then they turned around and got their heads kicked in by Boston again in that home and home. Bulls can put up a fight, but I think the Bucks get the win. They are 1.5-point favorites. I don't know if Giannis is actually a little bit of a question mark there. Let's have a look and see what he's up to. Giannis Antetokounmpo, questionable for the Chicago game. If he doesn't go, I'm going to go Chicago. If he does, I'd take Milwaukee. Clippers, Memphis. I'm going to go the Grizzlies in that one just straight off the bat. The Clippers are just a bit of a weird, wonky team at the moment, and that's what they do. The Clippers just look strange a lot of the times, but James Harden, it would be funny, though, if like Kawhi just randomly rocked up and started playing in this one, but I'm going to go the Grizzlies minus 5.5 if Ja Morant comes back. But we saw them just take care of Atlanta without Ja, so I think Grizzlies will be all right either way. Washington, OKC. Oof, this is 18.5 points. The Thunder. Top of the West versus bottom of the East. Can you go Washington at all? Plus 18.5? No. We are going OKC minus 18.5. Portland at Dallas. This is Luka dependent. I don't know if he's going to play. Portland plus 9.5 if there's no Luka. If there is Luka, maybe still Portland 9.5. Yeah, Luka is questionable for Monday's game against the Blazers. If he does play, I'd go Dallas. If he doesn't, I'm going to take Portland. Phoenix at Denver. So Denver, after today's schmozzle of a win against the Pelicans, host the Suns, who lost to Detroit at home. Phoenix is 6.5-point underdogs in Denver. You know that Nurk and Jokic are going to go hammer into. I like the Suns plus 6.5. I think KD can at least keep them close. As long as Beal shows up, Nurk and Jokic should be a pretty fun matchup. Denver probably win it, but Suns in 4. Suns in 4. We're going to take Suns plus 6.5. India, Golden State. The Warriors got a big win over the Wolves the other day, but the Pacers are playing with a little bit of chutzpah. I'm going to take the Pacers plus 5.5 in a bit of a shootout. That'll be a fun one. And then we finish off with a replay. What is it? Lakers, Detroit, LA Lakers. It's a repeat of the 1988 and 89 finals. 87 was the Celtics and Lakers. Lakers won that. Lakers win in 88. Pistons win 89, 90. Yeah, they beat the Lakers in 89. Awesome old uniform matchup. I hope we get a nice blue Detroit one in this one. Lakers are 5.5-point favorites against the Pistons. I will take the Lakers. They are playing pretty well. 2 good wins over the Sacramento Kings. Detroit had an awesome win over Phoenix the other day, but I don't know if they're as good of a matchup against the Lakers. So we'll go the Lakers. All right, is that all 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games tomorrow. That is going to be insane. So Houston at Charlotte, we're going Houston. Cleveland over Utah. Boston over Orlando. San Antonio over Philly. Atlanta over Minnesota. Brooklyn over Miami. Or plus 9.5 against Miami at least. Knicks 14.5 over Toronto. Milwaukee if Giannis plays against Chicago. Clippers, Memphis, we're going the Grizz. OKC, yeesh. That's brutal. Portland over Dallas if Luka's no good. Phoenix over Denver, plus 6.5 at least. Indy, plus 5.5 versus Golden State. And Lakers, minus 5.5 against Detroit. And there you go. That's it for today. That was a big weekend. Needed a big show. The best big show is NBA STRAYA. Right, we'll be back on deck tomorrow. Remember, we'll be there to set you up for Boxing Day. If you've got any last-minute send them through. We might do a quick Christmas list for each team as well. So we'll do the Christmas list. We'll do Boxing Day preview. We'll do the Team World versus Team USA. Flesh that out and be pretty fun. Trust me, it will be. All right, and until then, make sure you're following NBA STRAYA on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube, all the good stuff. Get all over around the socials. Get around NFL Australia as well. Myself and Gaz talking out this insane week of NFL. Dude, what a weekend it was. Check a rating review for those shows as well as the Cricket Today podcast, setting you up for the Boxing Day test and all the BBL gear. The boys have got you covered there. Football Today podcast for your soccer, hold all tickets for your GGs, and then of course the AFL and AFLW Today shows for some footy. Get around all of them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever app using the Android phone. Rate, review, and star it. If you're feeling in the giving mood, give us a review. Give us a couple of 5-star reviews. Subscribe, star, whatever you got to do. It'd be really, really appreciated. Right. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song, as well as to House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinator, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa Section, Green, and Dozers behind. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. So smash them on Apple Music, Spotify, Bandcamp, however you listen to your tunes. Support your bands. Do so with Strayan bands. NBA STRAYA supports Strayan bands. All right, that'll do us. We'll finish off with a quick deli review, because why the bloody hell not? And we will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. Oh yes, this is NBA STRAYA saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And let us end. Oi, oi, how the fuck are you? It's your old mate Deli over here to swing a by for my latest pop culture review and shit, eh? And I'm gonna tell ya, look, it's a pretty crazy time of year, obviously. Like, you know, dude, we're playing all these games and stuff, like trying to do open air games and everything, and trying to keep winning but losing games and shit, and it's a bit shitty. But, you know, suddenly you got kids and stuff, and like, you think about all your investments and your crypto and all that sort of gear, and you're like, you know what? Just want to sit down and watch Home Alone. So I'm just sitting down going, fucking, come on. So old mate, and she's like, oh yeah, let's watch something fucking Christmassy. And she's like, how about this new movie? I'm like, nah, fuck that. We're watching Macaulay's Culkin. Like, do it in like the Home Alone. And did you know that Home Alone house is up for fucking sale? I'm like, fucking hell, we should maybe move back to the States and buy that fucking house, hey? I reckon I can afford it. Fucking, might just go hit up LeBron, see if he needs another point guard on those fucking shitty Lakers of his, right? Anyway, so I watch Home Alone. I'm just like, bloody hell, I haven't watched this in years. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Fucking Macaulay's Culkin, like, causing all sorts of havoc with fucking Joe Pesci and like Daniel Stern and shit. And just like fucking throwing bricks on their head, and like that bloke stepping on nails, and there's the fucking spider. And then he fucking shoots him in the bonds with his fucking little BB gun. And it's just like, this is great. It's just a classic, great Christmas movie. So it gets like about 200 million out of 10 Deli ones for me. Because it's just got everything you need, right? It's got suspense, intrigue, excitement, Christmas. It's like fucking, yeah, get out of here, filthy animals and all that sort of shit. It's just fucking the best, mate. So go check it out. It's on the Disney's, and if you haven't watched it lately, just go fucking check it out. Home Alone, still pretty bloody good. All right, that'll do us for this week. Have a great Chrissy. I'll catch us next time. Later, fuckos. Merry Christmas. Still out.